So lovers, learners, at the same time, you are welcome. So we have this question to solve. If alpha and beta are roots of, we are given this quadratic equation 5x squared minus 6x plus 1 equals 0. Find the values of the following. A, that is Roman figure 1, alpha plus beta, 2, alpha beta, 3, alpha minus beta, 4, alpha squared plus beta squared, 5, alpha squared minus beta squared, 6, alpha cube plus beta cube, 7, alpha cube minus beta cube, and 8. Alpha raised to power 4 minus beta raised to power 4. Now, to solve this question, we are given let's write out the given information from the question. We are given the quadratic equation 5x squared minus 6x plus 1 equals to 0. Now, we are going to compare this to general form of quadratic equation, that is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, which implies that a equals 5, b equals minus 6, the coefficient of x, then c, which is the constant term we have, equals 1. So in this case, we have, in my previous video, I have made video on how we got the sum of the root of quadratic equation and the general formula for sum of the root of quadratic equation using a, b, and c, and also the product of the root. So that is to solve for the sum of the root now. That is alpha, sum of the roots, then sum of roots now. Sum of roots. That is alpha plus beta equals minus b divided by a. So I have made video on how we got minus b over a using this. So using the general form of quadratic equation. So we have made video on this. So you can go and watch my previous video and you are going to understand. Now we have alpha plus beta to be minus b over a. Here we have minus b to be. So we have b to be minus 6. Then we have minus, then b minus 6, substitute. Here we have minus b. Then that will be minus in the formula. Then the b is already minus 6. Then divided by a. A is said to be 5. So which implies we have alpha plus beta to be, so minus by minus will give us 6 divided by 5. So that is the first part. Now Roman figure 2. Then that is product of the root, that is alpha beta is said to be product of roots. So the product of root will now be alpha beta. So that is c over a. So therefore, we have c to be 1 and a to be 5. We have alpha beta equals to, then we have 1, which is c, divided by 5, which is a. So we have the first two parts of the question. So, and we have gotten the answer. Now, Roman figure 3. How do we now solve for the difference between the root? That is, we have alpha minus beta. That is what we are, the next question we are to determine. So alpha minus beta. Now to get this, by evaluating alpha, we can get this alpha minus beta by evaluating alpha minus beta raised to power of 2. So that is multiply alpha minus beta by alpha minus beta. So when you multiply, you are going to have alpha squared, alpha by beta will be minus alpha beta, beta by alpha will be minus alpha beta. We arrange in the same order. Then minus beta by beta will be beta squared. That means we have, okay, plus minus times minus will give us plus. Then we have alpha squared, then plus beta squared, then minus, then alpha beta has to be minus 2, then alpha beta. So that is minus alpha beta will give us minus 2. Now to determine this, now we have, so how do we get alpha minus beta? We have this one to be alpha minus beta raised to power 2 equals to alpha squared plus beta squared, then minus 2 alpha beta. Now take the square root of this, then the square root of the other side of the equation. This and the power of 2 will cancel out. We have alpha minus beta equals to alpha squared plus beta squared minus 2 alpha beta, then square root. Now, how do we now get alpha squared plus beta squared? Now, to get alpha squared plus beta squared, then alpha squared plus beta squared can be obtained by evaluating alpha plus beta squared. So that is alpha plus beta squared, which equals to alpha plus beta multiplied by alpha plus beta. So therefore, we have alpha squared, so plus alpha times beta will give us alpha beta. Beta times alpha will give us alpha beta. That is, we have alpha beta plus beta square. Now we have alpha square plus beta square plus this will now give us 2 alpha beta. So don't forget we have the sum of the root, which is alpha plus beta, to be 5/6. So in place of it, we use 5/6. So that is alpha plus beta, then raised to power 2. Then we have, or let's maintain. So the next step now will now be 6/5. So that is alpha plus beta, then raised to power 2 equals to alpha square plus beta square, now plus 2, then alpha beta. Product of the root now will now be 1/5. So equals to 1/5. When you evaluate this, you are going to have 6 by 6 will be 36, 5 by 5, 25, equals to alpha square plus beta square plus 2 by 1, we have 2, then divided by 5. So collecting like that, we are going to bring this to this side. So we have alpha square plus beta square equals to 36 divided by 25 minus 2/5. So we have alpha square plus beta square equals to, now how do we make this to be 25? Multiply numerator by 5 and numerator also by 5. We have 36/25 minus 10/25. So we have common denominators now. So therefore we are going to pick 25. Then we simplify the numerator, that is 36 minus 10, which will give us 26/25. So therefore alpha square plus beta square equals to 26/25. 26/25.